I'm here to talk about my brand, Respati, in which the brand was inspired by Japanese culture and Japanese proverbs. So the main theme is about the proverb Adigang, Adigung, Adiguna, in which Adigang means power, Adigung means wealth, and Adiguna means intelligent. To add up to that proverbs, I also got inspired by the clothes worn by people of Keraton, the Sultan, the soldier, and the Abdi Dalam in Japanese. I want to create a collection that is inspired by Japanese clothes, the traditional ones, but I want to modernize it and modernize the proverbs so I can introduce the proverb better. That's why I modernize it using the polyflex stickers and also the clean cuts in which I made the coats and the shirts and the pants.
So this collection is mainly inspired by a legend called Prambanan Temple, and it's telling about the story of Roro Jonggrang, who rejected a proposal married from evil prince, and by requesting 1,000 temple called Prambanan Temple. So this collection is telling about the plot of the story from Luke 1 until Luke 6. And in this collection, I use some techniques. I use ice dye technique, and I created the technique to become the digital print, and you can see in this look. So the second technique that I use is plating technique. I created a handmade, and then I want to use it as an embellishment for my collection.
So for my thesis, I developed a series of merchandise for the Indonesian Football Club Persija with the aim to increase its brand image and value in front of the Indonesian football market. And the inspiration behind my creation is that the love of football itself, since I personally played football since middle school. Also, the available merchandises that are being sold in the Indonesian market. So I decided to take that opportunity and to create my own renewed design for Persija merchandise. So for the whole collection, I decided to make a very daily friendly collection using fabrics like cotton and also parachute, so that people can use it not only for watching matches during tournaments, but also they can use it for their daily activities.
This is my collection, which is convalescent or recovering. The collection is inspired by the experience, the struggle of fighting the breast cancer for women. Like many other cancer, breast cancer cells gets more intricate as it develops into serious stage, which is why I was inspired to design an intricate, detailed texture from the felting technique, and also combined with the trimmings construction from the lingerie making. Each look in my collection here is to narrate the process, the struggle of experiencing the breast cancer, from the obliviousness, the chemotherapy, the side effect, and finally the empowerment that I bring from the tailor making suit here.
My collection is called Kyle, and it is inspired by the biodiversity of coral reefs ecosystem in Bunaken National Marine Park. The art of living together is the main theme of these collections, where it shows the beauty of living beings and interactions that is happening in Bunaken National Marine Park, and it is to support the tourism and conservation there. Each of my collection is very unique and special because I designed the pattern motifs using a traditional and digital mixed media approach to depict the overall environment and feelings that is happening in Bunaken.
My collection is called Rebel, and it is a collection that aims to break the gender inequality, break the mindset of gender inequality in Indonesia, which is still happening today. Girl Manifesto, which is from Riot Girl movement, was injected in the design to show that girls should be supporting each other and stand one another to fight for their rights. Grunge culture was injected in this design too, to support the awareness. And this inspired by the females behind Riot Girl Manifesto, and the main muse was Courtney Love herself. Their feminist values, and they projected the feminist values and also fight for women's rights through lyrics and manifesto, which is filled with women's outrage on how society treats them. In this collection, I used technique of embroidery, where I put the lyrics and also the manifesto that they created to support, to continue their awareness and their fight for women's rights. The girl movement was one of the powerful impact in the girl power today.
My project is about connecting people in the fashion industry in a digital platform. So I want to create a digital space for people who works in the fashion industry so they can connect each other easily. My inspiration behind this project is the people, it's the fashion student itself, it's the fashion lecturers, it's the tailor, the sewers, from the batik makers, from the pattern maker to the creative directors and people on board. And also my friends who works as a wardrobe in a television or an editors in a fashion magazine. I want to connect them in a more convenient place, in a digital space that is easy to use and in daily basis, so they can just in one click and then they can connect to all the people in the fashion industry itself. Basically, I'm I'm drawing the wireframe, the lo-fi wireframe from scratch to the high fidelity, and then I create the interactive prototype so I can present to the people easily. But for an advance, it will be a lot of coding and programming and stuff in there.
My thesis project was about sustainable fashion. The concept of the project was focusing on the issue of aftercare service of textile waste, like off-cut fabric, scraps, and the dead stock from the industry. I used recycled materials that I collected from retailers and textile manufacturers for the project. My main inspiration is from the subculture of the 70s psychedelia or psychedelic lifestyle that started from the hallucinogenic drug that create an impression of distorted sights and bright color spectrum that also influenced their art, music, fashion, and social movement in that era. I use patchwork, quilt, and crochet for the techniques that I use to create to express the idea of the concept and the inspiration better for the collection.
Building a business in the fashion industry that can be both sustainable and functional is always a dream of hers. She realizes that there is a high demand of denim clothing item in the market alongside with the high risk of damaging the environment. Considering the fabric waste made and another unsustainable problems behind the production process, she decided to make a denim preparation and alteration service. However, bringing the technology twist to add efficiency and practicality in a business is necessary in this area since it is resulting in a sustainable business. This is why she uses a website as an operational business platform. It will add value both to the customer and stakeholders. Her advice to the next generation of fashion students are always to brainstorm fresh ideas for the fashion world and keep evolving alongside the era, especially with technology, since it is a huge influence in the fashion industry.
So my collection named Kado is inspired by the Susumi concept. It is the art of gift packaging from Japan when the process of it should be using mind and heart. Even in Japanese character itself, Susumi represents that the precious baby being carried inside the mother's womb, protected firmly. So this collection completed through many experiments and trial how I want to apply the gift packaging on fashion. This is the combination between the bubble wrap, which is I visualize as the quilting technique, and the fascinating yet strong origami packaging become the main focus for this collection. Offering the combination of contrast between the soft yet gentle packaging and also with strong mood. So this collection represents how I want to package this precious gift. This collection having a unique style that is ready to complete the look for modern and sophisticated women.
My project comes in the form of a women ready-to-wear collection that aims to showcase the potential use of zero-waste patterns as a way to produce garments in the future for economic and environmental benefits. My main inspiration for the project is a German paper folding technique called Papierfalten that has a philosophy to appreciate the beauty of symmetry or balance. As for the technique that I use, I arrange geometric shapes such as squares, rectangles, and trapezoids to create the pattern pieces in which I was able to maximize the fabric that I use. Then I combine it with the origami's smocking technique, which not only does it help to shape the fit and silhouette, but also it adds the aesthetic features to my garments.
My final collection is about an upcycled collection made with thrifted and dead stock clothes from local brands. The reason I made this collection is because the bad stigma surrounding thrifted and dead stock clothes. In my collection, I was inspired by the concept of wabi-sabi and kintsugi. Wabi-sabi is a philosophy surrounding the thought of something that is usually seen as old or broken as something that is beautiful. And kintsugi is the art of mending pottery with gold and liquor to make it as even more beautiful than it was. In my collection, the thrifted clothes and the unused clothes, I made it into a new ones, but I kept the detail as it was before. For example, the zipper or the waistband, I made it into a supporting detail for the new design. A lot of the things that I was upset about before, now that I look back on it, it's actually a really good experience for me. And also, it pushes me to think more creatively, as I didn't use the clothes as fabric. I used the clothes as the clothes itself, and I made it into something new. So it was very challenging, but it was very rewarding at the end.
The Nyai of Now Spring Summer 2021 collection is my final year collection inspired by the legend of Nyai Dasima. She was a concubine woman during colonial era, married to an Englishman in 1813. What inspired me to use her as a concept was not only her struggles in life, but also the versions of her stories being told by different people with different endings and different villains and heroes based on racial biases. And that's why my main silhouettes is called panel layering. The panel layering I use to symbolize the versions of her story, and the techniques that I use on the panel layering are with raw edge cutting scissors, basic seam stitches, ultrasonic machine, and also fabric on fabric bonding.